What's going on, everybody? It is December 8th. This is not today's date has very significant meaning for me. So we already got fucking trolls. Before I get into I didn't sell anybody out, so I don't know who the fuck you're talking about, but it definitely ain't me. Comments are wild, man. So listening to the intro song on these, definitely hear a different perspective. I definitely got to bring the guitars down a little bit and bring the drums up. But it's not a final mix anyway. And I'm working on an intro video set to that song. So I'm going to have to remix it no matter what I do. But welcome, everybody. This is Critical Mass. I am your host, Rob. Thank you for joining today. We got a lot of shit in the news, man. A lot of shit's going on. But the first thing I want to get to is I want to raise a glass, or in this instance, a cup, to Dimebag Darrell Abbott. At approximately 10:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, 21 years ago, Dime was shot and killed by a deranged leftist. Yeah, I say that. Although man, I don't know. I guess I just kind of get this out. Deal with it, guys. We'll get into the juicier stuff in a minute. Dime was, besides James Hetfield of Metallica, and I'm talking pre-Black Album, because anything after the Black Album doesn't exist to me. Call me a hater, but Dimebag, other than James Hetfield, Dimebag was my biggest influence as far as guitar playing goes. And the way when I did play shows, when I was playing shows, how I dealt with fans and people that were there to watch, and people came up to me and they were like, yeah, don't. And I would sit and talk to them. If you don't know who Dimebag is, he was probably one of the most amazing human beings. Like, this dude, it didn't matter what the fuck was going on. He would have a drink with you. He didn't care. He was not a star. He never looked at himself as a star. He was just a regular good old boy. I'm going to bring him up, because that's my boy. Dime was the kind of guy that would, after a show, didn't matter how tired he was, he'd make a black tooth grin, and that's Crown and Coke. Way more Crown than Coke. And he would drink with you. He would sit and talk to you. He would sign everybody's fucking autographs. He would sign people's guitars. It didn't matter, man. He was somebody that knew that, irrespective of whether his band was fucking kick-ass or not, that they'd be nothing if it wasn't for the fans. And he showed appreciation to his fans. He was one of the most gracious musicians to attain rock star status. Like, I don't know of any other musician that did the things that he did. And he was just a loving, killer, chill dude. He really was. And I'm not going to say the scumbag's name, but he got blasted in the face with a shotgun, the guy that shot Dime. And the world lost one of the greatest living guitar players to have ever existed. There's no dispute about that. He is in the top 10 guitar players of all time. If you don't believe me, go and listen to the song Floods and listen to that guitar solo. That guitar solo is right up there with David Gilmour. David Gilmour's fucking Comfortably Numb. Dime was precision. Dime was control. And more importantly than anything else, Dime was fucking soul. He put so much soul and life into that guitar that very, very few musicians could ever achieve that. Dime was somebody that I looked up to. Dime was somebody I patterned my style of being personable when it comes to, playing live. The music my band did was vastly different than Pantera, but a lot of influence from his playing is in my hands. And I just remember waking up on December 9th, sorry. December 9th, and my guitar player in my band called me. And he's like, Rob, Dime's dead. I go, what? Get the fuck out of here. He goes, no, Dime's dead, dude. And I said, get the fuck out. And I turned the news on immediately. It still stings 21 years later. I can't believe it's been 21 fucking years. I mean, I remember that shit like it was yesterday. I can't believe 21 years has gone by so fucking fast. Shit, I can't believe 25 years has gone by. I can't believe 30. I can't believe 95 was 30 years ago. What the fuck? And if anybody's interested, maybe not, but if anybody's interested, my favorite album of theirs is The Great Southern Trendkill, which is where that picture came from. And see, that was at a time, it was 96, that picture right there. That was at a time when somebody like Dime, who came from Texas, could have the Confederate flag on their guitar, and nobody cried about it, nobody whined. It's funny, I think it was last year I saw on like some Facebook group, somebody had sent me like this thing, and it was a picture of that guitar from Washburn, and they didn't make very many of them, so they're fairly rare. And the fucking meltdown from all the little soy boys in the fucking comments. Oh my God, that is so racist. I can't believe you put it up for sale. You should just fucking burn it. I'll just buy it off you so I can set it on fire. Like, so these are the actual comments from these people. Fucking unbelievably fucking butthurt. Just crying and whining like a bunch of little bitches. I love that guitar, man. If I had the money and I could find one, I would fucking buy one in a heartbeat. But good luck finding that guitar, that's for sure. And if you did, you're probably looking at $30,000, $40,000 easily. I mean, he's got one that's called the Southern Cross, and that thing goes for $25,000. Well, the USA ones, even the fucking Indonesian ones and the Asian ones are still worth $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, even though the quality's not the same. But I'm not going to go on a fucking rant about guitars. But yeah, I just remember that back then. Nobody said anything. Everybody was just like, oh, well, it's fucking Dime, and he's got a fucking Confederate flag guitar. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared. Nobody got butthurt. There's not one place he played where people were like, oh, I'm not going to see Pantera because he's got a Confederate flag on his guitar. Fuck you. I can't stand that. So, anyway, thank you guys for bearing with me. Rest in peace, Dime. I know you're up there somewhere hanging with Jimmy. You just got your idol just came to see you. probably hanging out with Ace Frehley because Ace was one of his biggest influences. And I think we just recently lost Ace. So I can just imagine Ace and Jimmy and Dime just chilling, shredding. What a jam that would be. I miss Pantera's music, like the actual Pantera. I know. Listen, Charlie Benante, who's taken up for Vinny after Vinny died, and Vinny Paul was their drummer, Pantera's drummer, and Dime's brother. And I think after the loss of Dime, he literally drank himself to death. Nobody's going to convince me otherwise. And he was in a band with the lead singer of Mudvayne called Hell Yeah. I know some of you guys remember that. And Charlie Benante is the one that's filling in for him on this current Pantera tour. And Charlie Benante is probably one of the most underrated but best drummers to come out of the 80s in metal. Charlie Benante was fucking phenomenal. Is phenomenal, not was, is. And if there's anybody out there to play, Vinny's parts, it'd definitely be Charlie. And while Zach is a fucking great guitarist, and I've met Zach multiple times, I got a funny story about that. Maybe I'll tell you that story later. Zach's and as great of a player as Zach is, he's not Dime. Zach sounds like Zach. Even though he can play the music and he's proficient at it, he's good at it, there is a vast difference. Zach will always sound like Zach in any band you put him in. Nobody could ever sound like Dime. So, rest in peace, Dime. Oh, boy. All right. So I read somewhere this morning that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not seeking re-election in January. Or she's resigning in January. Wow. I wonder what prompted that. Because I am not surprised, to be quite honest with you. I'm trying to share the screen with you guys, this next screen. I think it's my personal opinion is I think that she has burned so many bridges that she knows that she's not going to be reelected, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. Does that mean that they have to do a special election to replace her if she's going to resign in January? Let's see how that goes. So Alina Habba, god damn, she's hot. Fuck. Oof. Yeah, she's hot. Why am I not? Hold on one second. It's hard to do this by myself. There we go. So Alina Habba, again, she's fucking hot. I can appreciate a good-looking female, that's for sure, and she's definitely a good-looking fucking female. I would totally let her sit on my face for as long as she wanted. Oh, man. I know. You guys come here for commentary. You come here for my off-color humor. I don't know why. So she's resigning from her position as New Jersey's top prosecutor. Federal appeals court said that she is unlawfully serving in her position. What up, dude? Now, aren't we fucking tired of this? Every single time we turn around, we have some activist judge thinking that they can circumvent and subvert the president of the United States of America. Every single fucking time, whether it be getting rid of criminal illegal aliens, blowing up boats, ICE doing what ICE is supposed to do. There may be a lot of things that I am not happy with Trump, and I am not afraid to say it. But one thing I have always believed is that he wants to protect this country. So now we have a federal district judge saying that she's unlawfully serving. So she decided to do the honorable thing, I guess, and say, hey, you know what? Put this, did this just open up X? I don't want to be on X. That she's doing it for, she wants to do it for the right, she's leaving for the right reasons. Pam Bondi got in, said that it was flawed. The court's ruling has made it untenable for her to effectively run her office, with politicized judges pausing trials designed to bring violent criminals to justice. These judges should not be able to countermand the president's choice of attorneys entrusted with carrying out the executive branch's core responsibility to prosecuting crime. So now she's going to be an advisor to Pam Bondi. Somehow, some way, Trump is going to make sure she's a part of this. This is the next thing that really, well, we get the DC police chief stepping down. Uh-oh. That's not good. Well, for her anyway. I don't know. Let's see who's going to be the next police chief. Might actually go from bad to worse. This piece of shit. Here's the next problem. I want to see if I can play this video. Yep.
Last weekend, ICE attempted to raid Canal Street and detain our immigrant neighbors. As mayor, I'll protect the rights of every single New Yorker, and that includes the more than 3 million immigrants who call this city their home. But we can all stand up to ICE if you know your rights. If you encounter ICE, these are the things that every New Yorker should know. First, ICE cannot enter into private spaces like your home, school, or a private area of your workplace without a judicial warrant signed by a judge. That looks like this. If ICE does not have a judicial warrant signed by a judge, you have the right to say, I do not consent to entry, and the right to keep your door closed. Sometimes ICE will show you paperwork that looks like this and tell you that they have the right to arrest you. That is false. ICE is legally allowed to lie to you, but you have the right to remain silent. If you're being detained, you may always ask, am I free to go, repeatedly until they answer you. You are legally allowed to film ICE as long as you do not interfere with an arrest. It is important to remain calm during any interaction with ICE or law enforcement. Do not impede their investigation, resist arrest, or run. One last thing. New Yorkers have a constitutional right to protest, and when I'm mayor, we will protect that right. New York will always welcome immigrants, and I will fight each and every day to protect, support, and celebrate our immigrant brothers and sisters.
So there we have it. He's letting New Yorkers know that when he becomes mayor in January, that they're going to ramp up the protests, and he's going to be a part of it. He'll be out there walking. Illegals are not allowed to flee from a lawful ICE arrest. They're also not legally allowed to resist enforcement once detained. This is federal law. If you're an illegal immigrant, you fall under federal law. You don't fall under state laws. It's not if those state laws contradict federal law. They're kind of like most gun laws. So we got Mondami pulling his bullshit. We knew that was going to go. And then we got Mangione. Look at this dude. He thinks he's going to win this. Well, I don't know, man. There's a lot of shit going on. I want to see about this police chief stepping down. So Pamela Smith, chief of Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, announced her resignation on Monday after holding the role for 2.5 years. She was previously celebrated in the D.C. department as the first black woman to lead MPD, being a veteran law enforcement officer with experience as chief of the U.S. Park Police. You know, I can't say that I disagree. I got into a lot of shit after that happened. Because I said something along those lines in a space, and everybody went fucking nuclear. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I guess I don't believe that he did it, first of all. You know, again, we were talking about this on Friday. With the proliferation of AI the way it is, you can't really believe anything you see anymore. I mean, we've had the technology to doctor videos. And isn't it funny that every single time something like this happens, it's always grainy and out of focus? And like my camera on my phone gets better video than, a $10,000 fucking camera that's supposed to be able to see at night, part of our 1984 Big Brother system that we have. It's funny to me that those cameras always take grainy, out of focus pictures and video. That's why I don't believe that the DC pipe bomber oh, man. That would be gay. But it sure did make me laugh. So, yeah, anyway, listen, I don't have any faith in our government. I never have. That's not going to change anytime soon. Probably never going to change. I don't believe the government. I don't go with the prescribed narrative on anything. The only thing I do know for sure, because I watched it live, was what our government did during Waco. And I do know that what I watched on 9/11 was not what was sold to us. I've been in construction more than half of my life. I've seen buildings demolished. nothing even then made me believe that a plane could do that to the World Trade Center. Now, I don't know about the Pentagon. I know that there were people that I know that were there. I have always believed that was a missile hit. And again, listen, man, I'm not right. A lot of the time, I try to be. And I guess, I've seen vertebrae demolished too. Motherfuckers falling off a ladder. Bye-bye. Yeah, so, and J6, I mean, listen, J6, they lied to us. We knew, like, immediately. Nobody thought that was an insurrection. Since that day, I always call it a fucking photo op for retards. I've never not said that. But nobody could have guessed that we would have turned into the banana republic that we turned into after that. When people started getting arrested for just sitting on the stairs, we knew we were in trouble. Yeah. Listen, by the grace of God, I wasn't there. I was packed and ready to go. I think that if there was anything that would have ever strengthened my belief that God does work in mysterious ways and that God exists and that there was a Holy Spirit, I think that really like cemented it for me, because I truly believe that it was divine intervention that I didn't end up going. But it is what it is. We're over that now. And I really hope, the guys in the studio, yeah, didn't even know it. But the guys in the studio have, Enrique and Barry, they have lawsuits against the federal government over this. And, the government, again, being the government, they're talking out of both sides of their fucking face. And I really hope that during President Trump's tenure that all of these guys and gals get the relief that they deserve. I'd love to see Joe Biggs get his, VA benefits back. Him getting a pardon so they can just get on with his life. So many people had their lives completely and utterly ruined, and they're going to be picking up the pieces for years and years and years to come, and on top of the the people that had committed suicide because they didn't want to face going to jail. Our government did that to them. So when I see people like this woman stepping down, I'm going to bring her up on the screen. When I see people like this, and they're going to step down because, well, in her case, it says she was going home to visit her family, and she's like, well, I wanted to be home with my family. No. That's because you are an abject failure. And you can't deal with Trump. Can I just say again how hot Alina Habba is? I can't even stand it. No, I'm kidding. Well, I'm not kidding. She's hot, but the Dems were in cahoots, but the Republicans in this administration have co-signed on this bullshit. Yeah, I vote Republican because it's the closest thing to what I believe. But other than that, I don't consider myself a Republican. I think Republicans and Democrats are the same, two sides of the same coin. You know, it's funny. My buddy Isaiah called me on Saturday, and we had like this hour-long conversation, and we're just talking about how fucking fake everybody is. You know, it was definitely a fucking cathartic fucking bitch session. And, you know, people aren't seeing what's going on for what it is. They have this narrative and this vision of what this country is in our government, and they've built it up in their heads to the point that they can't see the forest through the trees. They can't see what's really going on because they're so doped up on hopium. And the problem is it's not about the doom pilling or the doom scrolling that people do. It's not about being black pilled. Because I believe that being black pilled is just somebody who sees reality I didn't ban you from the chat. I have no idea what you're talking about. But it's not about being black. The black pilled is not what you think it is. You've made it you've made it so that you believe being black pilled is one thing, and it's not. Black pilled is looking at what's going on, the reality of it, taking off your fucking rose-colored glasses, looking at the situation for what it is. The reality of the situation is, in the last 40 years, can anybody tell me that voting has made our country better? And are we better off now than we were 40 years ago? And you know what? Every single time I say that, it's crickets. Oh, but you got to have hope. 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 Okay, we can have hope, but still be realistic. Of course I hope things get better. Who wouldn't? You'd have to be a real, truly miserable fucking cocksucker to not want things to get better. I know I do. I absolutely do. I have kids. When I shuffle off this mortal coil and I reach the clearing at the end of the woods, the clearing at the end of the path, or my path, I want to know that when I go, that my kids and eventually my grandkids are going to be in a better place. I want them to be able to afford to buy houses. I don't want the government. Oh, me too. Me too. I don't want them living under an oppressive government, whether it be an oppressive federal government or oppressive fucking state government. Like, there's nothing you're going to do to get my son to move back to Massachusetts. Like, he loves it here. He knows the difference between an oppressive fucking state like Mass. But I hope Mass changes, but you can't. And here's this, it's It's a matter of numbers, and people don't want to see that. And they're like, oh, Rob, you're so fucking miserable and you're fucking black-pilled. I'm not black-pilled by talking about facts. Just about since 2017, the number that I read was close to very, very close to 700,000. 700,000 people moved the fuck out of that state. Why? Gun rights. First of all. Second of all, taxes. Those are interchangeable. They're probably, neck and neck. The taxes in that state. The overbearing and oppressive fucking government. The people that moved out of there were like me. They were freedom first, constitutionally minded people who saw that no matter what they did, even when we had a Republican governor in Mass, and that was Charlie Baker, he let the Dems fucking steamroll him. He was a fucking rhino. He allowed that scissoring sycophant as Attorney General to do whatever she wanted to do. There was no pushback from him whatsoever. He was a fucking beta cuck and an absolute fucking rhino. He didn't do anything good for that state other than have an R next to his name. And it's up in the air whether that's good or that's bad. But people started seeing it. I watched people flee that state in droves after there was a letter put out by a then Attorney General Maura Healey, just her reinterpreting the law that she had no right to reinterpret, and nobody fought her on it. That's the thing. Reinterpret the assault weapons ban that Mass has. And it was July 20th, 2016. This letter sent shockwaves through the Second Amendment community in that state. And people were just like, you know what, that's it. People started looking for places outside of Massachusetts to move. And if it was hard enough to get any conservative or Republican representation in that state in 2016 and 17, now, good fucking luck. I told you guys I was at this like conservative speaking engagement about a month and a half ago, and one of the representatives stood up and said, "There's 25 of us to 135 of them, and we get shot down. Anything we bring to the table, it gets shot down like that." There's just not enough people to change Massachusetts into even a purple state, let alone turn it into a red state. This is what they've been working on for years and years and years and years. Same thing with Rhode Island. Same thing with Connecticut. Same thing with Maine. There's still some fighters left in Vermont, man, but goddamn, going to Burlington, it's like a fucking war zone. You would never think that. And this is what they do. It's been incremental over time. You can't just go and change the face of everything overnight because people will outright reject it. So it's death by 1,000 cuts. It's a little bit here. It's a little bit there. A buddy of mine, Buckster, was telling me that they wanted to audit the state. And the former district attorney general, now the governor, ended up putting a halt to it. And people are like, whoa, where the fuck are our tax dollars going to? We want to audit the state. And the state was like, nope, fuck you. And nobody's done anything about it because they can't. Every single fucking judge in that state, just about every single lawmaker up on Beacon Hill, every last one of them is bought and paid for. And they all do the bidding of the left. You're definitely not going to get any kind of real, true conservative representation in that state. And that is a fact. Unless people move back to that state that are like me in droves, instead of leaving the state for Florida or Texas. A lot have moved to New Hampshire. I think the last thing I read, it was like 62% of a million of the million people that moved out in the last 10 years. Not the 700,000 that moved out since 17. The million people that left that state, like 62% of them came to New Hampshire. This is why we have control over our government here. This is why we have so many amazing things that are going on in this state. Now, it's far from perfect, but it's close. It's closer than most other states. The only thing that I think that Florida is going to beat us to is the property tax repeal. I think they're going to get it first before we do. But we're working on that. That would be the final nail in the coffin. Could you imagine how many conservatives move out of Mass and come to New Hampshire after that? All they got to do is go 20 minutes over the border. Add 20 minutes onto their drive to work every day. We might actually take back Portsmouth. That would be great. Oh God, is that a liberal shithole? But when I bring numbers to people, oh Rob, you just have no hope. No, maybe if numbers don't lie, facts don't lie, and the fact is that there's not enough. If every single conservative got off their ass in November and voted, every single fucking conservative left in that fucking state, you still wouldn't even make a dent. So that's a fact. That's devoid of emotion. That is a fact. That's just numbers. And people don't want to see it. They don't want to admit it. Their heads are in the clouds. They're hopped up on hopium. They don't want to see. You want to get taxed on everything you do every minute of the day? Do you want to continue to pay excise tax? Do you want to continue to pay sales tax? Do you want to continue to pay outrageous property taxes? Out-fucking-rageous property taxes. Do you want to make it so that your driver's license gets suspended because you didn't pay your excise tax? A tax on top of a tax on top of a tax? What kind of fucking state is this? That is an oppressive, totalitarian, communist fucking state where they take your freedoms away if you don't give them money. This is what our forefathers fought against. If we don't pay the crown their due, they take your property, they take your livelihood, they take your freedom, and back then they take your life. This is why the Pine Tree riots were so monumental, because just a regular old dude said, you know what, I had enough. This is my land. I'm going to farm whatever fucking trees I want, and I don't give a shit what the crown says. That's why everything that I do, like my my @ on X is at the Rob 1772. That's when the Pine Tree riots happened. That really was the first shot of the fucking Revolutionary War. You know, those flags that say an appeal to heaven? They're a meaningful flag. They're not really a good-looking flag. I mean, it's just a fucking pine tree. But those appeal to heaven flags come from the Pine Tree riots. You see a lot of people around here flying them. So when I talk about this, it's not coming from a place of, you know, just I want to be a miserable fucking asshole. I just look at the reality of the situation, and the reality of the situation is Massachusetts is fucked. I look at the reality of the situation, and California is fucked. I look at the reality of the situation, Colorado is fucked. New Jersey is fucked. I know some fucking great conservative people in those states. But none of them want to do what's necessary to ensure their longevity. And what I mean by that is they want to stay and fight. And I get the idea of staying and fighting. But you don't fight a losing battle. That is that is number one when it comes to going into a fucking fight. You don't fight a losing battle. If there was enough people, just if the numbers show that there was enough people and you wanted to fight and you wanted to go out there and incentivize and energize these motherfuckers to get off their ass to go out and vote and take their fucking state back, then yeah, I'd be all for it. Fight until you're bleeding out. But when it's just a numbers game, you're not going to entice people to move back to a place like Massachusetts. You're not going to entice people to move to California. You're definitely not going to entice people to move to New York City, because fuck that. There's people and companies moving out in droves. Wait till you see what New York City looks like come this summer. You know, it's funny. Patty was on the show earlier today. He was like, "Rob, come on, man, you gotta say that you fucking New York City's great." And I was like, "Dude, it's not. It hasn't been great since I was a kid." And maybe I was looking at it through a fucking 10-year-old's eyes, but the city was, when I was growing up, the city was magical. Taking those trips into New York City with my family, well, my grandparents. You know, I remember going to FAO Schwartz. I remember being there for the tree lighting. I remember being there, you know, when the ball drops. Now, those are things that were just common for us New Yorkers. And it was great. Dude, in 1985, nobody got fucking stabbed while watching the ball drop. You didn't have to fucking worry about it. It was a different mindset. It was a different culture. To which, you know, these fucking kids today say, well, that's archaic. No, it's not. It was a different fucking time. People had their priorities. I mean, look, there was parts of the city. Yeah, they were great memories. There were parts of the city that you didn't go to. There was places like Canarsie. You didn't go to fucking Canarsie, Brooklyn, especially if you were white. You know, you didn't fucking stomp around fucking South Bronx, Van Cortlandt Park. These were tough areas. But Manhattan was different, especially Times Square, and especially this time of the year. Now, And at one point, yeah, it was great. It was amazing. But like I said, 92, I think it was 92 or 93 was the last time I have been in New York City. Yeah, it's been that long. And I have had no desire to go back. None. And I sure as shit have zero desire to go there under this fool. Because it's only going to get worse. So places like this, New York City, Dearborn, Michigan, all of these places are captured fucking cities. They are not going to vote their way out of the oppression. They're not going to vote their way out of everything that's coming to them and everything that's already here. There's just not enough people. And my suggestion is, for your own safety, for your own sanity, for your own financial stability, is move to places that have like-minded values and a like-minded culture. New Hampshire. Yeah, we got fucking a foot of snow last Tuesday, I think it was. But the trade-off is, yeah, it gets cold for a couple of months and there's snow. But you suck it up, you work through it, and then you have a killer fucking spring. It's fucking blazingly hot in the summer. And you have, you know, a fall that's fairly temperate. Well, since I've been here. You know, it's not 1,000 degrees all year round like fucking, you know, Miami. But you move to states that have, you know, everything that you're looking for. It's not abandoning the state. The state is already dead. Just move on. Bring your conservative values and bring your, you know, America first, America only beliefs with you and strengthen those states. Mass is a dead state. Rhode Island is a dead state for conservatives. It's a utopia for guys like Patty, not me. You know, everything on the Eastern Seaboard yeah, you know, I mean, I could see that. Just me coming from, you know, what it was to what I had been seeing, you know, after 9/11, the fact that New York didn't wholesale pack up the Muslim community and get it the fuck out of New York. And then them even thinking that they were going to allow somebody to build a mosque on that site. So, well, I got family here. I got this. Listen, I got family there. I got family in Mass still. Most of them. And what's a fucking 2.5 hour drive? It's not that big of a deal. Now, I'm not saying you should move to New Hampshire, but you should move to New Hampshire or move to Florida or go to Texas and help take Texas back. Well, the thing that I read, that they have the most mosques out of any state in the country, what the fuck is going on in Texas? Why are Texans allowing this shit to proliferate in their fucking state? I couldn't imagine that. It's my favorite cup in the world. Although I know that Isaiah is going to fucking call me and be like, fuck your Sig Sauer. I don't have a positive outlook on where we're going because of numbers. Because of the reality of the situation. I don't choose to live in a fantasy land. And that's the problem with the majority of people on our side, is that they're living in fantasy land. They honestly, truly, they can affect change in these states when they don't even have the numbers to do it. So where do we go from here? Well, New York City is fucked. You got a mayor that is going to go against ICE. You are going to see protests. You are going to see that city fucking tear itself apart. And you're going to see the biggest financial institutions in this country get the fuck out. It is going to cause so much calamity in New York. I have my side of the family is still there. And I can probably guarantee you they're making plans to get the fuck out. The other thing I wanted to talk about real quick is during Tucker's interview of Milo, I hadn't seen this, and it kind of shocked me. And then I started going down the rabbit hole and reading about it, and they really are propping up Pete Buttigieg to Buttigieg, however you pronounce his fucking name. I don't even know. Don't care. But they really are propping him up to get the nomination for the Democrats. I am kind of shocked. I thought they would run Newsom. So I think that maybe, Newsom's going to go in the VP spot. He'll get the nomination for VP. I can't even tell you what. I think that it would be so this country would be so far worse. But at the same time, I just want it to all burn the fuck down. Like, I'm just tired of this. It's like the perpetual fucking blue balls of the shit hits the fan. It's like, no. Just let it go, man. Just bust the nut of the next revolution, please. Just let it go. I don't know. Listen, everybody's got to do for themselves, and I just feel bad that there's people that you can't get through. It's like, dude, every time I talk to you, bro, and you're complaining about, I can't believe this and this and this, and it costs this much, and now it's it's another gun law, and And okay, what are you going to do? Oh, the whole 25 of you that live in that town are going to vote against the 3,000 fucking Democrats you got? Okay. Ah, dude, you got to have fucking hope, man. We'll pull it out. We'll pull it out. You're not going to pull it out. It's just a numbers game. Wake the fuck up. And this is why I'm worried about November. I really think we're going to get fucking spanked. I really hope that people pull their heads out of their asses and vote for Lily Tang Williams here. I'm going to do everything in my power to help her get elected. Even though she's not even in my district, I'm going to do everything in my power to help her get elected. Because we got Maggie Goodlander. She's part of the Seditious Six. It's a fucking embarrassment to this motherfucking state. Or is it Maggie Hassan? Let me see. Seditious Six. All right. Who are they? Well, let's see. Yeah, it's Maggie Goodlander. What a piece of fucking shit she is. I despise that woman. Despise her. Carpetbagging fucking douche. She's an embarrassment to this fucking state that she's a part of this. We have to get Maggie Goodlander out. Thankfully, Shaheen's not running again. Pappas is a fag. And Hassan is just Jesus. So, yeah, it would be Lily Tang Williams, running against Goodlander. It's America only, David. America only. Well, I'm going to do what I did in 2024. Every single fucking representative that I believed in, I absolutely get fucking door knocked for him. And that's what I would absolutely do for her, too. Now, if I got a choice between, because Scott Brown is in my district, do I pick Scott Brown or Chris Pappas? Well, I think I'm going to go with Scott Brown. So I'm going to totally door knock for him. I am not going to door knock for Sununu's brother. No fucking way in hell. He's a captured motherfucker, that's for sure. I don't trust that dude. A lot of people don't like Scott Brown. I've met Scott Brown back when he was running and serving in Mass. And I liked his attitude about a lot of things. And obviously, I'm going to go with Scott Brown. We really need to. That is the one blight on this fucking state, is that our representatives, our congressional representatives, are four of some of the worst liberal douchebags in Congress. Period. I am Mark Kelly. It's not a surprise that Mark Kelly would say something like that. He is a piece of shit. He has always been a piece of shit. And I don't give a fuck if the dude's been in outer space or not. It doesn't make him a fucking hero as far as I'm concerned, especially with how much of a fucking asshole he is. Him and his wife are directly responsible for the proliferation of the gun laws and the government overreach that we've felt over the last 10 years. Giffords can fuck off. Same thing with Everytown for gun safety. But we also have Slotkin from Michigan. Whoa, no fucking surprise. I don't know who Deluzio is from Pennsylvania. And I don't know who Houlihan is. Hot Lips Houlihan. Oh, that's a MASH reference. I know. You're old, Rob. And listen, I was very, very young when MASH was on reruns. Reruns, damn it, reruns. I didn't watch it fucking live. You know, I'm going to try to do what I can in my state. I'm going to work very hard, just like I did leading up to 2024. And that's all I can do. Hopefully send 4 conservatives to Congress to try to offset what we're going to lose next November. I don't believe it's going to help. It's not going to stop me from doing it. But the fact is I do believe that we are going to lose. I think that the left is motivated like they were in 2020. Not that I believe for a second that Joe Biden actually won that election, because I never will. There's nothing anybody will say to me that will make me believe that he won that 81 million votes. Okay. Barry, the links don't work, bro. Like, it's not like I can click on the link. So there's the link. If you guys, I don't know if you guys in the chat can actually click the hyperlink. Please share that video. Go to Barry's page. Share that video. Barry, you want to give me a little context on it when you get a second? That way I can tell people. I'll leave that up on the screen too. So, yeah. I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to volunteer my time like I did all throughout the beginning of 2024, leading into the election. Got a little bit of cleanup to do in my county. We got a real bad one running for sheriff. We got to stop him from fucking. We got to stop this dude from winning the election. I don't think he's got a chance in hell, but we definitely got to fucking put a stop to this dude, because if every liberal in my county is voting for this guy for sheriff, then you know he's definitely not what we want in our county, because the sheriff we have now is very very freedom-minded, very much, this mindset, this culture that we have up here, very Second Amendment, pro-Second Amendment, and very pro-Trump. So, and the guy that they, when I'm looking at, the people in the forums for my town and for my county saying, and I know that these people are the psychotic liberals. Shit. Barry, I hate to do this to you. Could you text me that, please? Because I don't have X up. I would like to let people know what it's about, but if not, and listen, go to the American Rise, go to Barry's page, and please share that out. Support our guys. I hope that this is, he says, it's pertinent information to our cause. So yeah, where was I? I want to make sure I hook my fellow war boys up with whatever they need. So yeah, that doesn't mean get out there. That doesn't mean don't get out there and do the work. But the fact is, if your resources could be better spent, for me anyway, dude, it's all right, bro. Listen, It is what it is. I got off what I needed to get off a little while ago. I'm just filling up some time right now. I'm just getting these thoughts into my head, bro. But anyway, it doesn't mean not go out there. I mean, I am. But then again, I live in a conservative, for the most state. Oh. All right. So Barry was just... Dude, oh, man. It's all right, bro. Well, I mean, dude, it's pertinent information to our cause. You only love me sometimes. Fucking bitch. Anyway. So, like, perfect scenario. Perfect. Jesus Christ! Barry, you fucked me up, dude. I'm sitting here reading these texts. Perfect analogy for what I'm talking about is, you got the south coast of Massachusetts. It is red, but a lot of these people don't go out and vote. To get them out there and vote. It isn't going to make a difference as far as the entire state goes. I'm not saying just give up. I'm saying that if you see what's going on and you really care about having more money in your pocket, because that should be everybody's fucking first concern, is being able to survive, being able to put gas in their vehicles, being able to eat, feed their families. These things, no, don't. It's all right, bro. Bro, it's all right, man. Those should be first on your list, is being able to take care of your family and take care of yourselves. If you can't do that because you're living in an oppressive state and nothing is going to change and it is only going to get worse, then you look at a state like, Florida, if you can't stand the cold. You look at a state like New Hampshire, Wyoming, Montana, Georgia, Missouri. Places that have proven themselves to be America first, America only. States that have fought back against the left when it comes to the, being sanctuary states. We're the only sanctuary state. We're the only non-sanctuary state in all of New England. You look at places like this and you make that move for yourself and for your family. What kind of schooling are your kids going to get? Are your kids getting if they're in indoctrination camps? Yes, Seuss. It is. That was pretty fucking loud. I thought I had turned it off. Yep, that was rather embarrassing. I just had to smile through it. And yes, it is it is level. I don't know why it's making that noise. Anyway. It's time to laugh. But anyway, you gotta do what's best for you and your family. And so my brother-in-law came up here for Thanksgiving, and my nephews were here, and I was just having a conversation. And my nephews are my oldest nephew is pretty much the same age as my son, and my son and I are just talking like normal. And my nephew was like, "Wow, I can't believe you said that." And I said, "What do you mean? That's like really offensive." And I went, "Oh God." Now my brother-in-law is like me. He's based Second Amendment guy, Trump voter. But they go to a mass public school. And because it's a sort of bougie area, you know, these kids, they're like, oh, you know, we got to stay here until the kids get out of high school. And it's like, what good are you doing for your kids? Seriously, what good are you doing for your kids? Your kids are becoming indoctrinated fucking liberals and leftists by these schools. And it's diametrically opposed to your values, bro. Yeah, I know, but she doesn't want to leave. Dude, she sits home. You make all the money. You pay for that house. You pay for that life. She has no choice. I am moving to a better place. Less taxes, more money in our pocket. I am going to buy a house. You're coming with. And if you don't, oh fucking well. That's what it's got to be. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. Well, dude, come on, man. Let's go. Nobody wants to make the hard choices. Everybody wants to just, it's apathy. I guess people are comfortable living in oppression. I guess it's easier that way. They have something to bitch about. I don't have anything to bitch about living in the state. I have plenty of things to bitch about, but I don't have anything to bitch about in the state. You guys have never heard me say anything fucking negative about living here. To me, it's paradise. I get to do what I want. I don't have an oppressive fucking state police force on me. I don't have an oppressive police force. I don't have oppressive fucking laws here. We don't have a fucking seatbelt law here. There's no helmet laws here. I am not forced to put a seatbelt on at the end of a barrel of a gun. I know it sounds overly dramatic, but, you know, in Massachusetts, you get pulled over, you get a fucking huge fine for that shit. And what happens if you don't pay the fine? Well, guys with guns come to the door. You have an arrest warrant, and they arrest you because you made a decision for yourself. The government should never be ever be able and be in a position to tell you what you can and can't do. I make the decision for myself to not wear a fucking helmet on my motorcycle. Me. The government shouldn't force me to wear one. Because if I go down at fucking 70 miles an hour, I don't want to live. Oh, yeah, my head's fine, but the rest of my body's fucked up. Fuck that. No way. I don't want to live in a wheelchair. So if I go down and I hit something with my head, I'm dead. Boom, done. DNR. Bye-bye. I'm not going to get ejected from my fucking truck if I hit something at 70 miles an hour. I'm going to get fucked up by a bunch of airbags. It's going to look like that scene out of fucking Demolition Man. Yeah, the left is great with, you know, my body, my choice when it comes to killing babies. But God forbid I make a decision for me that I don't get an experimental drug shoved in me. I don't want to wear a seatbelt. I don't want to wear a fucking helmet. So no, I don't live in a nanny state. So I got really nothing to complain about living here. I would love to get rid of property taxes, but I really can't complain. Dude, I got 18 acres and a modest 2,400 square foot house. I paid the $170,000 for it, and I pay maybe $2,000 a year in fucking property taxes for all of that property. So I really don't have a lot to complain about when it comes to that. You would never get me to another state. And there ain't nothing on this planet that would make me move back to Mass. But that's what I'm talking about. I had to make the hard choice in 16 to say, you know what? I had enough of the state. I've had enough of being oppressed. I was miserable every minute of the fucking day that I was there. I hated it. I hated driving around the fucking city that I lived in. I hated driving anywhere on the fucking highway. Going anywhere near Boston is so rage-inducing. If you've ever driven into Boston, the people just suck. The drivers are the worst in the fucking country. Maybe Rhode Island drivers are up there. And I don't even think fucking Patty can argue with me about that. Rhode Island drivers are some of the worst in the country. But these states are designed purposely to be oppressive. They want their liberal bastion, their utopia. So they're designed to push people like me out and look for greener pastures. I don't feel bad. I will never feel bad about abandoning Massachusetts. I live a better life, and that's what it's about. It's about the fact that my kid is going to a school where he had a field trip. Are you ready for this? My son had a field trip to Sig Sauer, the gun company. That was a field trip. Could you imagine a Massachusetts school or a fucking Connecticut school or a fucking New York school? You know who's, I don't know if you guys know gun companies, but Kimber. Kimber is in Yonkers, New York, where I used to live. Kimber, a gun company, is surviving. And the reason why, because, you know, they only make like 1911s with fucking 7 rounds in the mag. I know I'm joking. They make more than that. It's just a joke, people. But the point is that Kimber's in Yonkers, New York. Could you imagine, like, any one of the PSs in that fucking state doing a trip to a gun company? No. Could you imagine anybody in California, in any of the California schools, going to a gun company as a fucking field trip in high school? No. I couldn't think of any other fucking state in this country where a field trip a high school field trip to a gun company. Yeah, well, come live here. You know, I feel protected in this state because, especially in my county, there's more people that think like me and have my mindset when it comes to being prepared for whatever comes our way. All of us have tons of fucking property here. We all hunt. We all will survive anything that comes our way because we've made it that way. And there was the hard decision to leave the family. Well, listen, if there are people like, if Europe has your mindset, if the people from Europe have your mindset, Seuss, then they're welcome here. We don't want psychotic liberals here. And we sure as shit don't want Islam here. And we're doing everything in our power to thwart that. I promise you that. But I feel secure here. I had to make the decision. All of my family, all of my friends, all of my extended, New Hampshire is open for business. All of my friends, all of my extended family, all the guys I ride with, everybody that mattered to me, important in my life. Yep, I got plenty of property. Live in Mass. And I just know that when my son came home and he was crying about the fact that his teacher gave him shit because he told him what he did on the weekend, he went to the range with his dad for the first time. And he was so excited about it. And they gaslit that poor kid to the point that he didn't want to go. It took me a while to get him to go back to the range with me because his teacher made him feel so fucking bad about shooting a gun and talking about it. I obviously nuked on this teacher. And that's when I realized that for my son's sake and him growing up in a better environment, an environment where, the football coach tells the parents, this is my fucking team. They're not your kids anymore. You will not, under any circumstances, say shit to me on how I coach your kids. They're mine when they're on that field. And if you don't fucking like it, you take your kid out of my game now. This is literally the fucking first year my son played football. This is what the coach sat all the parents down. He was not having none of this fucking liberal nanny shit. This is motherfucking football, the way football's supposed to be fucking played. And he was out there, what the fuck are you doing? And it was fucking football, man. That shit didn't happen in Mass. I remember when my daughters were playing soccer and my daughter fucking got a goal and I clapped. I was like, yeah. And they were like, oh no, sir, we don't do that. What? Are you out of your fucking mind? So it was a multitude of reasons. Obviously, the main reason is my son being able to, flourish in a state like this. That was number one priority. Number two was my sanity, my mental well-being. I just couldn't be there anymore. And if you live in a state where there's red and there's a little bit of blue, then I say stay and fight. Obviously, you have a reason to stay and fight. You're able to conquer it. But a state like yours, I would put that I know of, Oklahoma. I hear Montana is getting really fucking liberal. I don't like hearing that. I think fucking Yellowstone kind of fucked it for everybody. I would put Missouri on there. Tennessee's got a fucking problem. Tennessee's got a real deep problem. But I see some really good leadership in Tennessee, and they need to be able to. So, states like that, yeah, go ahead and fight. You're never gonna see a conservative majority in the majority of New England anymore. All you're gonna see is Mass. The further, for Virginia, you guys got a CIA operative as a fucking governor. Jersey, gone. I don't think Jersey's ever going to come back. I see Pennsylvania being half and half, and there's a worthwhile fight in Pennsylvania because the area that I used to live in Pennsylvania was fucking beautiful. Rolling down the Schuylkill River on my bike. It's fucking just, I love that area. Back in the day when I was down there, fucking South Street used to be fucking banging. It was awesome. Now, from what I'm told from the people that I know that are still there, you can't go down fucking South Street anymore. South Street had some of the best tattoo artists. They had some of the coolest fucking clothing places. Well, at least for like metalheads and like alt people. Now it's barely recognizable from what I'm told. But I think that there's a fight to be had in a place like Pennsylvania. I think North Carolina really, really, really needs to fight. Those are the places that if the only reason why we have what we have here in New Hampshire is because of the Free State Project. People argue with me all the time, but how many people moved here under, with conservative values is the reason why we have the representation we have in the state now is because of the Free State Project. Enticing people with conservative mindsets, libertarian mindset too, from places like Massachusetts and Connecticut and Rhode Island. Hey, listen, come here. Look at, we have no tax. You can own your AR. You can have your 30-round mags. You're not going to go to jail. You don't need permission from the government to carry a gun. That's huge. The hoops that you have to jump through in a place like Massachusetts or Connecticut. Connecticut every year is like, hey, Mass, hold my beer. We're gonna get worse. And it's a hold my beer contest between the two states on who's going to be worse. They compete with one another to violate your constitutional rights. Who's going to be worse? I don't see how anybody could live in a situation like that. If you call yourself a conservative, if you call yourself freedom-minded, you want life and liberty, the pursuit of happiness, there's no happiness to be had in a place like Massachusetts. There's no happiness to be had in a place like California. It's artificial happiness. Oh, yeah, I get to go to the beach. Oh, yay. When you're scraping fucking $5 to put in your fucking gas tank to go to the beach because you're taxed to fucking death. It's artificial happiness. There is something to be said about the air around me where I'm at. It is peace. It is solace. It is a literal piece of heaven. I think that's why I moved here. I could have moved anywhere. It's just a different vibe. I guess that's the only way I could say it. The different culture, it's a different vibe. And every time I go to Mass, I just feel this oppressive fucking weight. Like all I want to do is get the fuck out of there. Well, except for one time. I kind of want to stay in Boston for as long as humanly possible, but I just nothing about states like this. And I have, there's a lot of people that I truly care about that live in New York. And I'm worried for them. They need to get out. And they're having a hard time. Yeah, not that I'm on X much, but if you guys haven't seen, if you go look at my profile pic, that's not AI. That actually is me. And I was wearing that sweatshirt this morning, but behind me is the mountain that I live on. Well, that I own. I'm kind of like on the mid part of the mountain. And I open up my door and there's nothing but fucking trees. And now the snow owls are back. And god damn, they sound fucking amazing at night. I remember when we bought the house, the guy said, "No, wait till you hear the owls." And I was like, "Owls?" He's like, "Yeah, hundreds and hundreds of owls." So anyway, let me see if I can... Oh, bear with me, guys. I'm going to put something up on the fucking screen for a minute. And... oh, because David brought it up. Trump is warning Netflix Warner Brothers deal could be a problem over market share. Let's bring this up on the screen while I look this up. So I don't know This is the first I'm hearing about this because, Netflix was talking about, hey, we bought I got an email from Netflix wanting me back because I canceled my fucking Netflix. And at the end of this month, on the 30th, it was up. So they sent me an email saying that, well, now that they bought Warner Brothers, now would be the best time to come back. And they were running this like $8 special. And I was like, no, because most of the shit that's on Warner Brothers fucking sucks too. And let's see. But now Trump is talking about this. They have a very big market share when they have Warner Brothers. That share goes up a lot. Trump plans to consult economists before giving the deal a stamp of approval. An unusual move since presidents generally do not get involved in antitrust approvals. The Trump administration approved the billion-dollar merger of Paramount Global with the film studio Skydance back in July. Paramount has agreed to contribute $16 million to Trump's future presidential library. Oh, well. Let's see. I really want to play this video from Barry. Oh, jeez. All right, Barry. Wait for it. Why can't I hear it? Let's see. Let's get this off the screen. Hey, look, I'm back. I'm going to screen share this. Share with audio.
Nancy Pelosi is not playing with you, Donald Trump. Nancy Pelosi is a straight shit. It's all about the children. Everything we do it for the kids. Nancy Pelosi said the air that they breathe, the school that they go to, the Department of Education. I know that's right. And Nancy Pelosi did not hold back Donald Trump. Please understand what you're doing to these innocent babies. That's what we all cried out. That's what we all said. Nancy Pelosi took air. And I like the savageness of the messaging. I need more messaging with more savages, okay? We don't need the nice talk right now. Right now, we need the straight shit.
Holy shit, that was intense.
Nancy Pelosi is not playing with you, Donald Trump. Nancy Pelosi is a straight shit. It's all about
Oh, shit. Barry, that was fucking awesome, dude.
Please understand what you're doing.
I'm going to play it again.
That's what we all cried out. That's what we all said. Nancy Pelosi took air. And I like the savageness of the messaging. I need more messaging with more savages, okay? We don't need the nice talk right now. Right now, we need the straight shoot.
Holy shit, that was intense.
I'm literally in fucking tears, bro. Holy shit, kid. Dude, that was awesome. Friesland. I've taken up learning how to speak Frisian. All right, well, I'm glad I could leave you guys on a laugh. Thank you guys for joining today. I appreciate it. Barry, that was excellent, my friend. That was fucking perfect, dude. When I'm comfortable, listen, I'm working on it. I really am. I want to be able to say an entire paragraph. I want to write something out and I want to say it all, and then I want to get your opinion on it. I'll be ready soon, though. I also have been working on the last couple of weeks. My absence from X is made me very productive in the recording studio, and I've been working on a cover. I talked about it back in June, July on my space. when the show was just a space. I've been working on a cover of a song called "We'll Have Our Home Again," and it's just a vocal with in the background in the original song. It's by the Pine Tree Riots. Look it up; it's a good song. And I've been working on that pretty much nonstop. It's a metal-ish cover, kind of along the lines of, I don't know, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, kind of. Yeah, no, I'm not working on that. It's a good song. The original is. I'm not a big fan of Disturbed, and I think Dave Draymond is a pump his ass, but that's just because I got personal issues with him. But so I've been working on that the last couple of weeks, and it's coming out fucking great. Probably vocally, it's different than anything I've ever done, and I'm actually really proud of it. And I might be premiering it on Wednesday. If not, I got to do some mixing, and I want to try to master it a little bit so that it's clear when I'm playing it through here. But I'm hoping to be able to premiere that this week. I'm doing a video for it. It's kind of just like me in the studio, and I've been working on cutting that up too to make a decent video to go with it. And I'm going to drop the video on YouTube. I'm going to drop the video on X. I'm going to drop the video pretty much everywhere, and I'll premiere it on the show probably Friday. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really excited about it. And again, I want to thank you guys very much for tuning in. You guys have a great night. Please check out everybody else in the studio. Please share and like their pages. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a great night.